Have you ever imagined an AI that doesn't just know about the world, but knows about your world? Well, that's exactly the promise of LangChain. Over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack how this amazing framework is turning AI from a smart encyclopedia into a genuinely powerful personal assistant.
You know, it's a really strange paradox when you think about it. We've got these incredible large language models, LLMs for short, like GPT-4, and they know a truly staggering amount about, well, everything public. But ask it a specific question about a report sitting on your desktop or an email in your inbox, you get nothing. It's totally blind to your personal universe of data.
And this right here really illustrates the difference perfectly. A standard LLM, it's like a brain in a jar. It's got all this incredible knowledge, but it's completely disconnected from your reality. But a LangChain-powered LLM, that's a whole different story. It can connect to your data, it can answer specific questions about your stuff, and it can even take action. It's the difference between a clever tool and a true collaborator. So, how do we bridge this gap? How do we connect that powerful brain to the real world? Well, this is exactly where LangChain comes in. Think of it as the missing link, the powerful connective tissue between the AI's mind and your world of documents, data, and tools. So what is it, really? At its core, LangChain is an open-source framework. You can use it in Python or JavaScript that gives developers a toolkit to hook up an LLM to pretty much anything else. We're talking proprietary databases, a live API, or even just a simple PDF. But what does connecting an LLM actually mean? Well, it boils down to giving the AI two fundamental new abilities. And this is what makes LangChain such a game changer. It gives AI two superpowers. First, it makes the AI data aware. That means it can actually connect and understand your private data. And second, it makes the AI agentic, which is a fancy way of saying it can take action. It can do things in the digital world. This is a massive, massive leap from just spitting out text. Okay, so that's the what. But the how, that's where the real magic happens. So let's walk through the really clever process LangChain uses to give a generic AI this deep understanding of a document it has never, ever seen before. It all happens in this really elegant 5-step pipeline. First, your document gets broken down into small, digestible chunks. Then, each of those chunks is converted into a numerical format called an embedding. Just think of this as giving each little piece of text a unique coordinate in a giant map of concepts. These embeddings are then stored in a special kind of database, a vector database. Now, when you ask a question, LangChain searches that database to fetch the most relevant chunks. And finally, here's the key. It sends your original question plus those relevant chunks to the LLM. It gives the AI all the context it needs to give you a brilliant, accurate answer. This is just the perfect way to think about that whole fetch step. You know, a normal search, like CTRL plus F, it finds exact words. But a vector database search, it finds related ideas and concepts. That's why you can ask something like, what were the main financial takeaways from last quarter's report? And it'll find paragraphs about revenue and profit, even if they don't use those exact words. It's so much smarter. Okay, so now that we get the core process, let's peek under the hood. Let's look at the actual building blocks that developers use inside the LangChain framework to build these incredible applications. First up, you've got your models. Now, this is the simplest piece of the puzzle, but it's absolutely fundamental. It's just a clean, standardized way to plug into the brain of the operation, whether that's an OpenAI model like GPT-4 or something from another provider like Hugging Face. This modular approach makes it super easy to swap different models in and out to see what works best. Next are prompts. You see, you can't just hard code every possible question a user might ask, right? That would be impossible. And that's where prompt templates come in. They're basically like a fill-in-the-blanks form. They let you build a solid structure for your instructions to the AI while dynamically plugging in the user's specific question. This is absolutely crucial for making flexible apps that can handle pretty much anything. Indexes are all about getting your data ready for the AI. This part of the toolkit includes the tools that do that chunking we talked about earlier, and it also manages the connection to the vector database where all that crucial context gets stored. So if you think back to our 5-step pipeline, indexes are what makes steps 1, 2, and 3 happen. Okay, now we get to chains. You can think of chains as the engine of LangChain. They act like an assembly line, letting you link all the other components together in a sequence. For example, you can chain a prompt to a model, then take the output of that and chain it to another model, and so on. This is how you build really complex, multi-step workflows that can do some seriously sophisticated stuff. And finally, we have agents.
And honestly, this might be the most mind-blowing part. If chains are the engine, agents are the hands and feet. This is what gives the LLM the power to actually do things. An agent can decide which tool it needs to use, like a calculator, a Google search, or even a live Python code interpreter, to figure out the answer to a question it can't answer on its own.
So we've seen the what and the how, but now for the most exciting part. What does this actually mean for all of us? What kind of real-world applications does this technology unlock? I mean, the possibilities are just staggering. We are talking about personal assistants that don't just find information, but actually book flights and manage your calendar. Tutors that have literally mastered your entire course syllabus and can create custom quizzes for you. Business intelligence tools that you can have a conversation with about your company's private sales data. It is a truly exponential leap forward. Ultimately, if you remember one thing, it should be this. LangChain closes the gap. It takes the abstract, incredible power of a large language model and connects it directly to practical, valuable, real-world tasks. It makes AI useful.
So, where does that leave us? For the first time, we have a technology that gives AI a brain, access to our own data, and hands to take action in the world. The toolkit is here. The only question left is, what are you going to build with it?